The in Sharpton Jackson Inc. would plummet after the first half-black president was elected to the. I guess I was wrong. I guess, like any industry, like any corporate entity, when the winds of the economy change, if they're smart, they change with the times. So now Sharpton and Jackson Inc. has found a new layer and level of racism. That is, you are unfairly judging Obama. I guess that means me. Michelle Andrea Bowen couldn't avoid a bout of constant self-analysis. She was one of the first African-American students admitted to the doctorate program in history at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Quote, "I know Obama's going to be held to a different standard," says Bowen, author of Up at College and books such as Holy Ghost Corner, which celebrate black faith and culture. Bowen says she faced the same relentless scrutiny, and so will Obama. "You know it was hard for you to get in. You know they're there watching you. You know that they're there judging you by a critical standard that's sometimes not fair." Who's they? Let me let you in on an intellectually honest secret here. Come closer. If you're walking around telling everyone that they're all a bunch of racists and they're all a bunch of unfair standard imposers, everyone around you's a racist, that you're the racist. You're the racist. If you're a woman in the workplace and thinks every single man around you is a sexist, guess what? You're the sexist. If you're a homosexual and you think every straight person around you is a secret homophobe, guess what? You're a heterophobe. If you're going to accuse a broad-based group of people of something because of the color of their skin, by standing there, if a black person's standing there, or Asian person, or it doesn't matter who the person is, if a person of minority status is standing there saying, all you white people, you're all racist, because that's what white people are, guess what? The white people around you aren't the racist. You are. You're the prejudiced one. Now, I know that I know on common campus wisdom is that black people can't be racist. Let me let you in on another little secret. There are lots of black racists. There are lots of black people that hate Asians, that hate Jews, that hate gays, that hate Hispanics, that hate, believe it or not, white people. Racism is not but see, and I've pointed the industry has changed. You see, it went from the initial, well, white people hate black people, to racism has nothing to do with racial animosity. It is access to power and wealth and the control of government. Wait, what? No, racism is hating someone because of their race. This add-in of power and wealth and controls of government is nonsense. If you hate someone because of the color of their skin or ethnic background, guess what? You're a racist. And you don't get to free yourself of being a racist because you might be of a group that someone else hates. You don't get to justify your own racism by the racism of others. You don't get to declare your racism as acceptable because someone else might have racist intent towards you. You don't get that free pass. But Miss Bowen is saying that everybody around... Yeah, really? The same people who actually voted for the guy? Yeah, Barack Obama had a really hard time becoming president. The majority of people laid down and voted for him. What hard time? Why? Because McCain actually produced some critical ads? Oh, gee, we're sorry. Well, first of all, we're sorry we put up such a lousy nominee. And we're sorry that his campaign put out critical ads like the ones, you guys produced. And we're sorry that we actually analyze what he says. And we're sorry we don't just lay down and go, yeah, right, okay, whatever you say, sir. You have more of this. Perhaps Obama will avoid the stomach aches because of massive goodwill that his election has generated. But that could change quickly if Obama makes a controversial decision or mistake, says Andrew Rojecki, co-author of The Black Image and the White Mind, Media and Race in America. Rojecki says people who say Obama isn't going to be held to a different standard because of his skin color didn't pay attention to his campaign. Well, I did. Let's see what Mr. Rojecki says. He says Obama had to deal with challenges that other candidates didn't have to face. Obama's run for office was almost ended by his association with his minister, the Reverend Jeremiah Wright, whose incendiary sermons shocked many. But Republican presidential nominee John McCain's relationship with the Reverend John Hagee, who was accused of anti-Semitism, never threatened to end his campaign, Rojecki said. Well, you notice the language. The Reverend Jeremiah Wright was Obama's minister. It was his minister. Hagee's someone just he met with. McCain didn't sit in Hagee's church for 20 years. They had a couple of meetings. So trying to tie Hagee to McCain the way Obama was tied to Wright is not exactly equivalent. But yeah, what's the difference, right? I mean, you got a minister, you got a candidate, and a minister, and that's all that matters. McCain didn't sit in Hagee's church for 20 years. Out of politics, he had to meet with Hagee. I mean, what about Obama's newfound love for Rick Warren? Okay, I can't say that. Obama was held responsible for what his minister said, and McCain was associated with Hagee, but somehow it didn't stick, said Rojecki, a communications professor at the University of Illinois at Chicago. You're right, it didn't stick. Just like William Ayers and Barack Obama didn't stick. People didn't care about Hagee because they knew. Even the critics of McCain knew he met with the guy once, maybe twice. So it didn't stick. But Barack Obama sat in Reverend Jeremiah Wright's church for 20 years. That's 2 decades. That's a lot of simmering in the hate pot. 1-866-95 Patriot. So the article, now this is how Sharpton Jackson Inc. is going to increase its shares. It's okay, the country's not racist, but if it judges Obama, you know, what about Dick Cheney's association with Halliburton? Doesn't seem to bother that bothered everyone, but Lynn's association with Raytheon, can't discuss that. You got a Treasury chief who didn't pay his taxes while using TurboTax. The guy who's going to be in charge of the agency that collects revenue doesn't know how the tax code works. The economic whiz kid who's going to be sitting on top of the Treasury did his own. You know who TurboTax is for? Me. You. That's who uses TurboTax. Not the guy who's going to be running the Treasury Department. So Barack Obama's not going to be unfairly judged. The problem is he's going to be fairly judged. That's the problem. The problem is I'm not going to stop criticizing politics because Barack Obama's father was black. That's what they can't take. That's what they can't stand. The problem is that Barack Obama is going to be treated actually totally fair. You see, it's not racist to judge someone. It's racist to give them a free pass. It's just as racist to give something to someone because of their race as is it to take it. You know what's so funny is I see people like this. People who purposefully surround themselves. I had an ex-girlfriend whose friends were all just, she had this broad mosaic of minority friends. And this is one of the things that led to our breakup. I said, you only like these people because they're minorities. She had such white guilt because her daddy was a rich land developer. She had all these friends that were of racial minorities. And I said, you only like these people because it makes you feel your daddy. That's just as I said, you don't even really like. I'm like, you really even like these? She's like, you're a racist. No, I'm not. Some of your friends I like, some of them I don't.